I would like to discuss about the horizontal and vertical line of intelligence and human evolution. The horizontal line is seen as the hips. The hips are parallel to the earth, and the hips represent the lower chakras, the primal force. The primal force, we think of the root chakra, we think of our ancestors, sex, money, food, and water. And then we think of the navel point, which is the sort of center anchoring rod for the hips, as our sexual energy, our creative expression. So the horizontal line has a lot to do with our subconscious. So we know on this planet, a lot of individuals are governed by their subconscious behaviors, habits, and patterns that have been passed down for many, many generations through the ancestral bloodline. Right? So the subconscious is full of the human condition, human experience, trauma, we call ancestral curses, generational trauma, these type of things. And what the meditator has discovered, right, the ancient meditator has discovered, is that in order to access higher vibrations to upgrade the intelligence from sex, money, food, and water into a more prosperous, highly creative, highly exalted state of manifesting alchemical force on this earth, is connecting to the vertical line, which is the spine. The spine is what connects the perineum to the earth, and the perineum to the top of the head, which connects to the galactic energy, right? That interstellar consciousness that we all possess. So right now on this planet, we know a lot of the horizontal subconscious behaviors, habits, and patterns. And on planet Earth, those behaviors, patterns, and habits are quite heavy and very dense. It brings us into a basic function, and we are meant to evolve that basic function. We're actually meant to become quite alchemical in what we think, what we say, and what we do. So the soul embodiment is a journey from the top of the head all the way into the perineum, right? In all the practices of meditation and various forms of that throughout this planet is all about getting the soul into the body so that you can begin to transcend the sort of limiting beliefs and these sort of sabotaging behaviors and habits and patterns that can be quite obsessive and quite addictive, and have been designed that way in the Matrix in order to keep you in this self-belittlement so that you won't challenge the system, right? Because the Matrix has knowledge on these quite revolutionary periods of time going all the way to Moses with ancient Egypt, and how people, when they start to step into their vertical point of connection in their spine, they start to build up spine, people, especially a group of people, become quite transformative, right? Quite transformative. So in the matrix system that has been set up on these addictive, obsessive, sort of neurotic patterns, behaviors, and habits, is a way for us to weaken the spine, right? And we know on this planet there's this sense of weakened spine, right? As when we associate old age as in the spine is no longer functional in many ways, right? Where we start to experience an inability to be mobile or to be creative or to move the energy through the system. because the spine gets atrophied, right? So in the hips, we're so focused on the sex, money, food, and water, and that's all that we know, right? It's very restrictive, it's very limiting, and it presents a lot of obstacles because we don't have the sort of consciousness, the spine, to be able to really be innovative and really access our talents to break through these very seeming addictive and obsessive like obstacles that we just get so interlocked with, we get so destructive with, that we very much sabotage and we very much hold ourselves back. We make excuses, we complain, we're moody, we're settling, we're just in cardinal relationships, and we're in the shadow of ourself, which is the shadow is unable to see, right, what's really going on within you, right? So a way to decipher the shadow, or to go, to see through the veil, because basically the shadow is the veil, is to become highly intuitive, is to become highly instinctual, right? So all of these practices of self-psychology, self-hypnosis, the sort of trance we get in meditation or transcendental meditation, mantra recitation, is all about connecting to that state of mind. We can call it that sort of theta state of mind, where you're able to go into your subconscious and be able to see these deep rooted behaviors, habits, and patterns that are creating a sabotage, a limitation, that is creating this sort of, we call shadow, where you're entering into this sort of predictable mind wave that isn't giving you the highest energy that you could have in this life. Right. So the spine is the movement of the spine, the movement of the chi through the spine is all about giving you the highest energy you can have in this lifetime, the highest alchemical energy that you can sort of magnetize and amplify within your aura, so that you can maneuver time, space with a sense of grit, a sense of defined character, and with a sense of mobility, agility, that kind of warrior practice. So the reason why we're going to space, right, and the reason why the ancients built these sort of pyramids or these metallithic structures as a symbol of space, is because space represents human evolution, human ascension, and individuals such as like Elon Musk and many more to come, who are sort of bringing about these inventions, this technology to be able to go to space, to go to Mars, and even outside our galaxy or our solar system, especially in the coming of 200, 500 years, right? That's very much symbolic for human beings need to climb the elevator from their primal sort of sex, money, food, and water, and they need to move into their heart energy, into, we call the third eye energy, into their crown chakra energy, because that's where the clean information is. A lot of information on planet Earth has been, it's very much jargon in the way that has been very distorted by a lot of interference on this planet. So the information from the point of the spine, from the point of the heart, and from the point of the third eye, when that's really in the higher energy reserve, it brings about a very clean and clear information that's very galactic. And a lot of these individuals who brought about these foundational technology to space, or to the iPhone, or to radio, or to the satellites, are individuals who possessed a very galactic mindset. So we think of our planet as the direction of the AI, the artificial intelligence, and how robots are going to be kind of governing our society and helping us. But really, the real sort of challenge and the goal for the human species is for humans to possess that sort of I call interstellar consciousness, but a lot of us are just in the problem of my ancestral trauma, the problem of my sex, money, food, and water, right? And right now on our planet, we do have definitely strife and obstacles when it comes to sex, money, food, and water, right? And that's why now more than ever, we need to develop the spine so that we can bring about some dignity into our sex, money, food, and water. Because the ways of the past cannot work. We cannot try to go into our subconscious and try to find energy there to try to fix or to try to heal or to try to maneuver ourselves through this sex, money, food, and water dilemma that we have on this planet in many different ways. It's merely a reflection of the lack of dignity that we've had on this planet for some time, while we've just been very impulsive and very impulsive when it comes to the attack, when it divide and conquer, when it comes to making our claim, that sort of primal the withholding, this discriminating, and the sort of hoarding of precious information, teachings that a lot of these teachings come from the meditative mind, the interstellar consciousness. So when we think of all of these sort of all of these figures that represent human ascension that we pray to or even worship, or that we're following, right? We're following this lineage of these individuals who were able to raise their vibration, uphold this particular dignity in their lifetime, is because we all know as human beings that we need to bring about a higher energy to transcend this subconscious behavior, habits, and patterns that have this sort of relaying through energy that's not, we think it's going to give us more energy, but it's not, right? So a lot of individuals are starting to really connect with cosmic vibration instead of this earthbound vibration of what you see in media and what you're told in the news and what you're told from your grandpa and your grandma. People are starting to actually, I want to go directly to the source, the cosmic source. And a lot of people who do that are quite ingenious, right? Because they're not just kind of soaking in what's already so saturated in the subconscious, which, a lot of beliefs that really we don't need to kind of reenact. We don't need to continue on, right? It's just kind of, we need to let it rest and go just directly to the source, which is that the source, the original, people can call it like the Holy Spirit, right? The source, the clear energy that is untouched by earthbound type of dilemmas and obstacles and pains and grievances and resentments that come about through feeling quite belittled and feeling quite discouraged and feeling quite weak in your spine, right? Because you don't know how to access the sort of talents, the gifts that are more cosmic in nature. That can be gifts from intellectual, sort of scientifical, mathematical. It can also be, artistic, musical, in other ways. So I think as we move the heat of the hips through the spine, we start to speed up the aura. And when we start to speed up the aura in many ways, we start to become this sort of magnetic field that can draw in this source of energy, which Nikola Tesla calls it like the core of the universe. And in that, we're able to access information that is very soulful and that can be very, very helpful in sort of restoring the balance on our planet, so that when we do transition into interstellar consciousness as a human being, we have already sort of brought about a sort of transcendence to these habits, behaviors, and patterns that keep us in this sort of fighting with our soul, fighting with each other, oblivious, very naive, and in the shadow of what we think we are and what we're here to do.